Hi there, thank you so much for tuning in. Now, according to our data, there is a very good chance that you are between the age of 24 and 32, and that is a very tricky age to be because you can finally afford the finer things in life, but you also have a lot of responsibilities that are kicking in. Now, you need a car that is practical, that is great for road trips and dates with your significant other. But you also need a car that can ferry the in-laws around, do your grocery shopping, and maybe even that baby that's coming soon. Now, I know that is a lot to ask from a car, but I'm not talking about just any other car. Allow me to introduce you to the Honda Jazz.
The Jazz at first glance is a good-looking car. It's more aggressive and aerodynamic than its predecessor. In the front, the headlamp cluster and bumper has elements of the Honda City, but it misses out on DRLs. From the side, it has a hunkered down look with a sloping shoulder line. And those 15-inch alloys look like they are one size too small for the car. In the back, the design comes together nicely with the rear tail lamp cluster and chrome strip that runs along the length of the boot.
Now, when it comes to performance, we're driving the 1.5 diesel. It is an aluminum block, so to begin with, it is quite noisy. But that being said, the power delivery on the engine itself is absolutely linear. You don't get that punch that you normally get out of a diesel engine, and that is actually quite welcome, so it's very predictable. The gearbox is the same gearbox that you get in the city, so it's 6-speed, but the ratios on this gearbox is much longer, which is tuned for efficiency, and I have to say the gearbox is an absolute peach to use. Honda does know how to make great handling cars, and the Jazz is absolutely no exception. They've been able to achieve this considering that it's quite a tall boy design by keeping the center of gravity really low. As a result, that the car feels very stable at high speeds and even in the bends. The engine is rated for about 27 kilometers per liter, but in the real world we've been driving with a mix of city, on the highway and even in the Ghat section, and with the aircon on we've been averaging about 18 kilometers per liter, which is very impressive if you ask me. The car comes fully loaded with a host of safety features. You get pre-tensioning seat belts, ABS, EBD, dual airbags, but you also get other things that you don't necessarily see in other cars. For example, pedestrian damage mitigation technology. In the event of collision with a pedestrian, the bonnet is designed in such a way to minimize injury to the pedestrian. Out of the front, the visibility is absolutely exceptional, but out of the back, the rear view mirror itself is quite tiny and it's kind of hard to look out the back. And I've noticed that on the A-pillar there is quite a big gaping blind spot, so that is something that you need to be careful of when you're driving the car.
Go ahead and steal my thunder. I'll give you all my money, baby.
Given the fact that this is the top end variant, it is also quite plain. There are a lot of moles on the dash that sort of let you know of all the features that you're missing out on, which is actually quite a shame. For example, engine start stop. There are other cars in this segment that offer a lot more features for a lot less money.
The previous generation Jazz didn't do too well. It was overpriced and ahead of its time. Honda learned from their mistakes and they have priced the car competitively. The range starts from 5.36 lakh rupees.
And when it comes to reliability, well, this is a Honda. With some basic maintenance, it'll outlast almost any other car. In fact, this car has done about 11,500 kilometers and there are absolutely no squeaks or rattles. Now, when it comes to practicality, this is where the Jazz comes into its own. So, in terms of practicality, Jazz's magic seats can be configured in multiple ways depending on your need. So you have regular 5-seater mode. This is what they call the tall mode. It's so huge, I can practically walk through it. Road trip mode. and my personal favorite, lounge mode. But just make sure that whoever you're taking in lounge mode makes it a point to take their shoes off. Man, that was a fun drive. Now, the Jazz also comes with an automatic CVT gearbox, but the biggest strength of the Jazz has been the fact that it offers MPV-like practicality in a hatchback. However, now, if you want that kind of practicality, you have to buy the top-end models. But it gets a bit more confusing than that. Oh, thank you, Chef Ramsay. Let me put it this way. The rice is the Jazz. The dal is the convenience of the CVT, and the pickle represents the practicality of those magic seats. For some strange reason, you can't have them all together. You can only choose one. I just feel like with the Jazz, Honda haven't offered us a truly wholesome meal.
Do I like the Jazz? Yes, I do. It's all the car one could possibly ever need. It's spacious, well-built, comfortable. But at the price of 9.1 lakh rupees at showroom, customers are expecting more. It doesn't feel like Honda's best foot forward in this segment. What did you think about the Jazz? Do let us know in the comment section below, and as always, thank you so much for watching PowerDrift.